They fly above storms, above war, but sometimes what they see up there defies everything. From blazing orbs that chase combat aircraft to ghost planes that vanish mid-air. These are real encounters, recorded by military pilots who live to tell the story. Each case grows darker and more disturbing, starting with the least terrifying and ending with the one that still haunts every pilot who's seen it. Stay until the end, because the final encounter was never meant to be seen by the public. Number 15. Flying at over 80,000 feet, the A-12 reconnaissance jet was faster than any missile on Earth. But one day, over hostile airspace, a white trail rose from the clouds below. The pilot had seconds to react. The radar screamed. A Soviet SA-2 was closing in. He banked hard, blacking out under crushing G-forces. Then, silence. The explosion never came, but the shockwave tore through the tail, scorching the titanium skin. He limped the aircraft back to base, alive, barely. When the engineers inspected it, they found fragments of the missile's outer casing embedded in the wing. No one ever explained how the A-12 survived a direct missile pass at Mach 3. Even the pilot refused to speak of it again. Number 14. The A-10 Thunderbolt, built to destroy tanks, flies low over Iraq, but this time, it's aiming at the wrong target. Through the smoke, the pilot spots movement and opens fire. Explosions tear through the sand, until a panicked voice cuts through the radio. "They're friendlies! Cease fire." Silence, heartbeat, pulse. The cockpit footage captures the horror as the pilot realizes the truth. British soldiers, allies, had been hit. He whispers, "We're in jail, dude! We're in jail!" The military tried to bury the video, but it leaked years later. A haunting reminder of how chaos and confusion can turn the sky into a nightmare. Number 13. Over the Pacific near Rabaul, a lone pilot spots another Corsair approaching. At first, he thinks it's an ally returning from patrol. But something is wrong. The aircraft flies too perfectly, too silently. No radio contact, no squadron markings. The mysterious Corsair slides into formation beside him, and for a moment, the pilot swears he can see a figure inside, staring back. Then, without warning, the plane banks sharply toward enemy territory and vanishes into the mist. No radar trace, no wreckage ever found. Records show no other Corsair was in the area that day. To this day, pilots over Rabaul still whisper about the ghost plane that flies beside you before disappearing forever. Number 12. January 7th, 1948. Captain Thomas Mantell, flying a P-51 Mustang, is ordered to intercept a strange object over Kentucky. He climbs higher and higher, reporting what he sees. It's metallic and enormous, but he has no oxygen mask. At 25,000 feet, his voice fades. Moments later, radar loses him. When search teams find the wreckage, the plane is shattered. No sign of fire, no ejection. The Air Force blamed a skyhook balloon. Others believe Mantell saw something beyond our technology. Whatever it was, it lured him too high and became the first fatal encounter in the history of UFO chases. Number 11. October 1st, 1948. Over Fargo, North Dakota, Lieutenant George Gorman reports a glowing sphere moving against the night sky. He gives chase, banking, diving, turning sharply. The light matches every maneuver. It climbs, stalls, drops, and loops back toward him like it's alive. For 27 minutes, Gorman engages in a dogfight with something that has no wings, no sound, and no heat signature. When he lands shaken, he says, it was under intelligent control. Investigators found no weather balloons, no aircraft, nothing that could explain the encounter. Even decades later, pilots still refer to it as the dogfight with the unknown. Number 10. Belgium, 1989. Radar stations detect massive triangular objects drifting silently across the sky. The Belgian Air Force scrambles two F-16. As they climb, their instruments go haywire. Targets appear, vanish, then reappear miles away in seconds. The pilots chase what looks like a flying black pyramid with bright corner lights. One of the jets locks on, but the object accelerates from 150 to 1,000 miles per hour in an instant. On the ground, hundreds of witnesses see the same thing. Silent, immense, hovering just above rooftops. The radar data was real. The craft, unknown. It remains one of Europe's most credible mass sightings, and one of the few confirmed on both radar and camera. Number 9. From the deck of the USS Roosevelt, a Navy fighter locks its sensors on something moving just above the waves. It's fast, unbelievably fast. No wings, no exhaust, no heat trail. Just a tiny black shape darting over the water like it's alive. The pilots can't believe what they're seeing. "Look at that thing go," one says, laughing nervously. The object crosses miles of open sea in seconds before vanishing into the horizon. The footage became known as GOFAST, one of the Navy's officially released UAP videos. What it was remains a mystery, but the raw fear and confusion in those voices are very real. Low. Number 8. Over the Atlantic, Navy pilots spot a glowing object moving against the wind. It's oval-shaped, smooth, and eerily steady, yet it turns sideways as if rotating on its own axis. One pilot whispers, "Look at it, it's rotating." The object holds position, then drifts away effortlessly, faster than any known aircraft. The footage, known as GIMBAL, was captured by FA, 18 fighters in 2015. When the US Navy later confirmed it as authentic, analysts realized something chilling. The craft showed no wings, no propulsion, no heat signature, just impossible movement, witnessed by trained combat pilots. To this day, no one has explained what the GIMBAL really was. Number 7. November 2004. Off the coast of California, pilots from the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group are ordered to intercept an unidentified radar contact. When they arrive, they see it, a small, white, capsule-shaped object hovering above the sea. No wings, no exhaust, just there. As they dive toward it, the object shoots upward, accelerating from sea level to 80,000 feet in less than a second. The pilots return shaken. They describe it as a Tic Tac, moving like nothing built by human hands. Later, infrared cameras record the same object again, the now famous Tic Tac UAP. Even today, the Pentagon admits, the data is real, the object unexplained. Number 6. Tehran, 1976. Radar operators detect a bright object hovering above the city, too large, too silent to be an aircraft. Two F-4 Phantom jets scramble to intercept. As the lead pilot locks on, his instruments flicker. Then, total failure. No radar, no communications, no weapons. He breaks off, and suddenly everything comes back. The second pilot tries the same approach, and the same thing happens. Witnesses on the ground report multiple objects splitting apart and rejoining in the night sky. When the jets land, engineers confirm no mechanical faults. Whatever that object was, it had the power to shut down 2 military aircraft in midair. Number 5. High above the storm line, a fighter jet cuts through the clouds. Then, the cockpit begins to glow. At first, the pilot thinks it's lightning, but the light doesn't strike. It clings. Blue-violet fire crawls along the metal frame, dancing over the wings and nose cone. The phenomenon is called St. Elmo's fire. Electricity so charged it ignites the air itself. For pilots, it feels like flying through liquid lightning. Many who've seen it describe it as beautiful, until it surrounds the entire aircraft, flickering inside the cockpit like living plasma. Even seasoned aviators admit, it's one of the few moments in flight that truly feels supernatural. Number 4. Somewhere over the Pacific, a U.S. Air Force C-133A transport crosses a thunderstorm. The crew notices flickers of light inside the cockpit. Static, they think. Then, out of nowhere, a glowing sphere of fire appears inside the cabin. It floats silently between the pilot's seats, spinning like molten glass. And the men freeze. The orb drifts toward the navigator's console, then slips through the metal fuselage, leaving no mark, no heat. Later, scientists call it ball lightning, a phenomenon so rare that even today, few have seen it and lived to describe it. For the crew, it wasn't science. It was the night a ball of fire passed straight through their plane at 30,000 feet. Number 3. During the Second World War, airmen stationed in the Pacific reported a chilling encounter. A lone P-40 fighter appeared over Pearl Harbor, bullet holes through its wings, smoke trailing from the engine. Ground crews rushed to assist as it descended, but instead of landing, it simply circled the base once and crashed nearby. When rescuers arrived, the cockpit was empty. No pilot, no blood. Only a single handprint on the canopy, burned into the glass. Maintenance logs showed that same aircraft number had been lost in combat days earlier, hundreds of miles away. Some believe it was an engine malfunction. Others whisper the pilot came back to finish his mission. The story became legend. The ghost, P-40 of Pearl Harbor. Number 2. Distant anti-aircraft fire. Europe, 1944. Allied pilots flying night missions begin to report strange glowing spheres tailing their aircraft. They move fast, matching every turn, every climb, but never attack. Pilots call them Foo Fighters. At first, command believes they are German weapons, but Luftwaffe pilots report seeing the same lights following them. The orbs dance beside bombers, split apart, and reform, defying every law of flight. No one ever manages to catch or shoot one down. When the war ends, both sides admit they had no idea what those lights were. Nearly 80 years later, the mystery remains, and the Foo Fighters still stand as the most terrifying, unexplained encounters ever recorded by military pilots. Number 1. Captured from another aircraft in midair, the image shows a fighter jet, canopy closed, pilot visible, flying beneath a clear sky. On top of the cockpit, a strange green insect-like figure appears crouched, its wings extended and legs bent as if gripping the glass. The creature's proportions resemble those of a dragonfly, but its size and posture make it completely out of place in the scene. No motion blur, no visible restraints, just an unsettling stillness over the moving jet. Whether this image depicts a staged scene, a digital manipulation, or something unexplainable remains uncertain. But the combination of realism, altitude, and the figure's eerie position makes it one of the most disturbing aviation photographs ever circulated.